When Women Speak.
And New Jersey Poetry Events presents
When People Speak.
Poetry and conversation with pop-up poetry guests.
Your hosts will be Amira, Shabazz, Bilal.
And your co-host, James C. Ellerby.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage our first poet and guest, Mr. Sage Galan. Mr. Galan, welcome.
Blessings, sister. Blessings. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you? This is your first time on our platform.
This is my first time, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much.
And we're honored to have you. I noticed that you have one of my favorite things on your body at this point, and in the back, and in the background, I'm also noticing that you have a piece of artwork. I'm going to ask you about those two things in just 2 seconds, but first, let me go ahead and read your bio to our audience. I'm going to introduce to you out there in Facebook land, Mr. Sage Galan. He was born in New York on Long Island, and he spent his formative years living in a commune in Northern California. In 1979, he moved to Harlem, USA, where his mom put him in a Catholic school. That didn't turn out too well. He then moved to Hempstead, Long Island in the spring of 1979, and that is where he grew up. He always wanted to be an artist, and he could draw, write, and he also acted. After spelling in a still challenge, he self-published a book called Naked Under My Clothes, and he sold over 2,000 copies independently. He also has a CD of the same title, Naked Under My Clothes. In 2014, this CD was released, and he is developing a stage performance based on the same title, and it's an anthology or a short film. He paints with oils, watercolors, and acrylics, and he is also a photographer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Sage Galan. Now, I told you I was going to read the bio and talk about that shirt and that picture in the back of you. First of all, in all seriousness, the shirt is, and I recognize it well, the title of one of my most favorite people, one of my most favorite talents ever to have walked the earth. He's no longer with us, but what a great homage. And if you had told me, I would have worn my shirt too. Yes, that is Brother Shamello's title, From Ghetto to Greater, and I think that you are wearing that well. And based on your bio, I see you come from the same stomping grounds. Go Hempstead, go Hempstead.
Yes, 100, 510 family.
Yes, sir.
Shamello Durant, Daryl Keith Durant, is a man whom I, in very many ways, modeled my life after. This is a man who was nothing but pure heart and talent and generosity, humility and love. And, when I was 10 years old, I came out of the commune. I was kind of a weird kid by the Hempstead standards, and I was bullied a lot. And I was in class with his younger sister, Dyalla, in second grade. And I remember one day at the the Hempstead bus terminal, Shamello ran into me, and he said to me, I was 10. He said, if anyone messes with you, they mess with me. I'm your big brother now. Wow. And this is a man whose example, and he was a big kid. So that meant a lot to me. And, he was a big kid, and I respected him. And I always wanted a big brother, and he facilitated that necessity in my life, along with many other people's lives. The Ghetto to Greater is a project, the title of Shamello's book. I encourage everyone to get it. There's going to be a lot of variations of this coming in the near future. So I'm asking everyone, keep an eye out for Shamello Durant's From Ghetto to Greater. Recently, actually, I was going to New York during this whole COVID thing, and I reached out to my brother to ask him if he knew of a studio. I wanted to lay down one of the poems, which I'm going to perform tonight in honor of Shamello. He sent me back music, which was like amazing.
Yeah.
And he was in the process of producing my second album called This Is It. And yeah, the painting behind me is one of my pieces, my artwork. So
Beautiful.
thank you.
I'm going to talk more about you and your work after you do your performance. So I'm going to step off the stage right now, Mr. Sage Galan, and let you have it all to yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Sage Galan.
Greetings. Growing up provided a lot of pain for me. Memories and happy times, they all seem so vague to me. I remember having to ask for love like it was a rare gem given to those who could afford to see my fundamental faces of anonymity. The fears of being left alone and no one understanding me. And I refused to sleep in dark rooms, quite certain that Satan flew over me on a wicked broom. Stepfather, father, ambiguity. The menlessness rampant in my community, a penis attached to a mystery. Figures of abuse and negligence. Now, how can a boy become a man when that figure is defined by a battered woman? Damn. The echoes of, "You're just like your no good daddy, I'll give you something to cry about," resonate in my ears. Not wanting to live another year, retreat into nothingness, unable to hide my suicidal tendencies and my black and blue eyes, and my thirst for life was quenched by the tears that I cried. No love, love lost, love thought, damn, love not. That's a piece from my first project called Naked Under My Clothes. The title of that was called Growing Pains. Another piece I wrote, which was a part of that project, and how I wanted to set it up was kind of like a journey for the listener. And the next piece I'm going to perform is called Me, which goes in self-realization. I can no longer be the object of your affection. I know the price of your objectivity. I cannot afford your emotional delusions. I am both worthy and willing to walk away. Loving you hurt like poverty. Some eyes provide temporary satisfaction. Lips cause sizzling sensations, but I am tired of getting burned. Self-love is a fundamental component of me that I have learned. The richness of my love is the lesson of wealth that I have earned. In the shadows of my absence, it is the sum of me that you no longer deserve. Your hearing is fine. It's just my leaving that is echoing in your vacant, complacent mind. You standing there, frozen, alone, death by exodus, silence by tears. Still you, unaware of how good loving me could have been. Somebody settled for immediate gratification. You said that I was sexy. You said that you wanted me. However, my needs go deeper than those casual encounters, the common superficialities. I require the world to love. I demand eternity. My soul is extraordinary, a diamond set in platinum, increased by rubies. My love is beauty. And if you cannot recognize that which I can contribute, then I can only give you my pity. You see, the bottom line is, I can easily spend my love on me. And that is called Me. I am wearing the shirt of my big brother and my producer for my upcoming project called This Is It. His name is Shamela Durant, and he was an incredible human being. The last piece I'll perform is called Spit. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last completed project that Shamelo worked on. And this is an iconic figure in the music industry, from Busta Rhymes' Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See to Belle Biv DeVoe's Poison album. Right? And in commemoration to George Floyd and all of us who have perished and all of us who have survived. It's called Spit. Black, 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 black. Black cotton, tobacco, bile, picking for the white rice paradox, cause acidic reaction, addiction, labor-like contraction, birth canal contradiction, trying to get back up inside of this deep space nine abyss, copulation like Caligula. Red stain, Satan, Saturn, Norman Rockwell, Santa Claus, waiting in the shadows, hiding from the inevitable arrival of retribution, the delusion of the minds of a youth, and Columbine finds time to grieve, and look what happened to John Benet Ramsey. But there is a drive-by prosecution that is still tripping on OJ. Got milk. Fuck you in bold print. No retraction packing. AK cowards, bent wrists, make weak fists. So why do you need a magazine, cuz? You know you can't read, cuz. Bullets say bleed, cuz. You need a gun to make you feel strong. Wrong. Shit pumping, come clumping from the corner of your pink perverted lips. The human flesh that you digest. Enlarge your breasts without toxic shit. Waving equality in my face. You laughing as you say, you can't touch this. And you call me the savage. How much of the rainforest have I ravaged? You kill the dirty bird. Genocide is your most sacred word. Exposing AIDS to a third world that precedes your antiquity. Don't you know extinction starts with a thought? Think of all the misery your greed has brought. Bitch, make a wish. Take a hit of this. I call it vintage spit. You hit the shore of the motherland. You imprisoned the lion, killed the shaman, raped the women, denigrated the children. And now your little kids, they want to be puffy, get amok thug like wannabes. And you direct your anger to the artists who too often emerge from the environment segregated by you. Now are you ready to listen to the rhythm and the blues? Now are you ready to listen? Now are you ready? And I'm going to stop that piece there. But that's Spit. That is a project that we will be releasing this June, Black Music Month, as well as Juneteenth. And in addition to that, it'll also be the celebration of the birthday of my big brother and my producer from ghetto to greater, Shamilo Durant. So thank you. And thank you for letting me share my work with you.
Listen, Sage, you got the women out there. Like, if you were on stage, I can't say those things because, you know, like I'm a covering Muslim, like I'm supposed to be like saintly, but you could just imagine what they're saying that I can't say to you. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
The point is that sometimes poetry is sexy. And it doesn't matter what the words are, it's the delivery. And like your whole scene is kind of like fire like that, and it draws people in. It has a kind of magnetic pull. And I'm just like sitting here going, like, I know this is some deep stuff, right? I know it. But what exactly is it that makes Sage different?
Well, I'll start by saying I believe that we are all brought here with purpose and with promise. You think of the impossibility of our existence just to begin with. That sperm out of 1 million or 10 million sperm cells that hit that one egg out of the hundreds of eggs our mothers expelled to create us. So we're all brought here with purpose and promise and with a unique imprint upon us to live to engage in life if we're courageous enough to live life as opposed to just existing. I've been homeless. I've been a drug addict. I've picked out of garbage cans to eat. I've slept on in Penn Station and abandoned buildings. I literally have had rats and roaches crawling over my flesh. And, coming from Hempstead and living a square life as a child and then being exposed to another form of existence, it, I believe, informs my work, be it through the painting or the poetry or my photography or my filmmaking or whatever realm or whatever medium I'm using at whatever particular time. My concept of God is a consummate artist. I believe the Mother Divine, any entity, thing, spirit, energy, God that can create the most beautiful sunset and sunrise, who can create a butterfly in our existence,
Mm.
is an artist. And we vibrate as artists, as creators, if we are open enough to allow ourselves and courageous enough to expose ourselves, we vibrate at a very similar energy frequency. So, through all of my work, um, it's just an exercise of humanity
Yeah.
because I've been deemed inhumane when I was homeless. I was not worthy. I was not accepted. I was not important. I was not human when I was in a very dark space. Now, conversely, when I got my first Mercedes, which I no longer have, um, people thought of me as, they were impressed by that. And what I found interesting about that is that I had not changed my foundation. Even when I was on the streets, I was still a decent human being, but I wasn't worthy of being seen. So I
So
was no different in that stage as I was in that first Mercedes.
so you've come like what someone would consider full circle. You've been down, you've been up, you've been somewhere in the middle,
Hmm.
um, and in that you've been able to come up with some really really inspiring art in yourself. The piece behind you, it's kind of like speaking its own story as you give the words to poetry. But that piece behind you is poetry in itself. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your photography. Like,
Hmm.
um, what types of photography? What type of photographer are you?
Um, I am. If it's funny because like writing, I'm a terrible speller. I never thought of myself. I never would have imagined me writing, especially poetry, or far more publishing my own book. Photography is the exact same thing. I had a camera that was sitting in my apartment for 3 months. I hadn't even looked at. I was working on my desk, and I said, it was expensive. It's an expensive piece of equipment. Is a Canon, like Rebel. It was like $800. And I said to myself, you should either learn how to use. No, I said you should give it away, pawn it, sell it, or learn how to use it. And so I spent some time just pressing buttons, trying to figure out, first of all, how to turn the thing on.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then I would drive around Skid Row in LA and take pictures of homeless people, but not because they were homeless people, but because I was once a homeless person. And I know how invisible that life is. So I wanted to give kind of face to the invisible. I had a friend of mine who's a mentor of mine. He's an amazing photographer named David Stork, and he liked my eye,
Yeah, yeah.
and so he gave me a lot of great advice. So I would consider myself more of a documentary style photographer, a street photographer. That first series of the homeless was called Matthew. It's called Matthew's 2540,
Where
which
can
will go
we
into
find
the
it?
lease.
Where can
Uh,
we
s-
find it?
SageGallon.com is my website. That's SageGallon.com. I post all of my work whenever I finish a painting or a photograph on my Instagram page, which is also Sage Gallon. Like all of my stuff is Sage Gallon, except for Twitter. They kicked me off during the Trump era. They
Well,
kicked,
that's worth getting kicked off for because I've
who
been
knew they
off.
were such snowflakes? I mean, you know. But Instagram, Facebook, everything is Sage Gallon. My website is sagegallon.com.
So,
I
Sage, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we can
Mhm.
get your books there. We can get your paintings there. We can see your photography there.
You can see my photography. I'm no longer publishing this book. I'm currently working on my second book, which you'll be able to get on my website or through my Instagram page. I'm in LA right now directing a piece of just a profound piece. Is a short film called "From Mothers to Mothers of Black Men," written by
Beautiful.
an amazing writer named Marla Wyatt. The voiceover is going to be done by an incredible actress. Her name is Juanita Jennings, both award-winning women. So like I post everything on my Instagram. So the best way to see the breadth of my work through my paintings, photography, short films, music videos, all of it would be on my Instagram, my Sage Gallon Instagram page.
That's amazing. Sage,
Thank you.
listen, in all sincerity, Like I do all of that. I'm like a photographer. Like here I'm selling myself. Look, we gotta hook up. You gotta hook me up, bro. I wanna be a part of the happenings, that kind of thing. So I'll be calling you, reaching out to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because it's more essential now than ever before that we work as a collective,
Yes,
that we work as a unified spirit,
absolutely.
that we work as the manifestation of the universe. And we have to do that cohesively. And that greed and consumption and crabs in a barrel thing is not
Yes,
sustainable and it can no longer exist.
we
So
must help one another.
please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always available.
I will. And so, Sage, here's where I say thank you. Thank you. Everyone out there thanks you for being a part of When People Speak, May edition. But I have one last question. It's kind of difficult for me to ask because somebody is texting me and they want to know, is Brother Man married?
I am not actually.
Oh, okay. I will. Now, When People Speak has become a dating show. Check it out. We need an ad, James. We need an ad. All the sisters in the house.
No, but thank you very much. Again, I'm so honored to be here with you two,
I'm
and
honored to have you.
everyone out there. So thank you so much, everyone.
I'm honored as well, and thank you for keeping our brother alive. Shamello, wear that T-shirt. Talk about his art. Keep his life on this earth. Thank you so much, Mr. Sage Gallant. And
Thank
I'm
you.
going to ask you to hang out in our green room. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for being a part of the
Thank you.
show.
Promote your business live on When People Speak. Our promo videos are 35 seconds. They're ran for 3 shows, and it's a good way to grow your business. Support our platform at a low promotion fee. And remember, your business matters. And you can do that by emailing us at whenpeoplespeak@gmail.com. So support When People Speak. Be a sponsor. Be part of the family. We know you're enjoying the show so far, and this is how you can show your support of When People Speak. You can donate now at Cash App, $Amira Shabazz. So support the artist, support the platform. You are the ones that make this show possible. So continue to allow more impactful, inspiring shows by donating now.